everyone, this is Cindy, and I just kind of wanted to show you an evolution of an idea that I had in my mind, and it kind of was going through different steps. And you can tell me where you think at what step I should have stopped instead of going on. It's all started with this file folder I found when I was going through my stash and trying to organize it. And this is left over from a design team project I did for Artzology. It's her ladybug kit. And this just didn't get included in any of the journals I did. So when I saw this, I thought, oh, I really like that little folder. I should use it as a pattern, a template, to make more. So I finally got around to it today. I came in here, my craft room, and grabbed some scraps. And when I was doing that, I thought, oh, you know what? This reminds me of Gail using up her scraps the other day. And this would be a good idea for her, make file folders out of it. So that was just kind of in the back of my mind. And I thought, I wonder if there's an easy way to make these out of your scraps. So that's kind of what got me going. So the first thing I did was I just traced around this. Well, this actually wasn't a scrap, but I wanted Christmas paper. So I took the paper and traced around it and cut it out, folded it up. So, okay, great. There's my file folder. It can be inked up, decorated, whatever. But then I thought, you know, if I keep using this to trace around, then I'm going to get pencil and ink and all that stuff on it. So I thought, okay, I'll make a template of it. So I glued a couple of book pages together just so I'd have some thickness and traced around it, cut it out, obviously. Even took some notes, made notes to myself, and then I made another one. So it was not bad. And then I just got to looking at it. Well, okay, let me go through all the steps. So I made that one. And then I thought, okay, I've got a scrap over here. How will it do? So you can see my had a few issues with it, but I still was going through the evolution of this is an actual scrap. It's smaller. This scrap was smaller, you know, than my template or anything. So how could I do this? So I just folded it in half, used my corner rounder, and then tried to cut a little tab. So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, you know, why is there two tabs like that? They're back to back. I don't know if I really like that. I went and got a real file folder and looked at it. I thought, you know, they only have one tab. So I did the same thing, folded it in half, and then decided, oh no, I can't fold it in half. I have to fold it a little lower. Then I cut out the tab. So when I folded it down a little bit, and that gave me, you know, the extra up here to do the tab. But then I thought, not really liking that too much. So I thought, aha, I'll put a real tab on there. So I had my tab punch and punched out a tab, glued it on there. I said, that's better. And when I did that, I was able to round all the corners with my corner rounder. And it's got a small and a large, you know, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. So anyway, that's not a bad thing. So your way of using it for your scraps is just take your rectangular piece of scrap, fold it in half, and add a tab. And you got a great file folder, right? So maybe I should stop there. Of course, I didn't. I made another one, but yeah, to me something's still not right. So I went and looked at the file folders again. Oh, and I do want to say one thing I didn't mention about the scrap size. If you think picture frames, 4x6, 5x7, even probably 3x5. I didn't make one that small, but it would give you an idea of the proportions if you wanted more of a square type file folder. So then I decided, and I'll show you that in a minute, I changed those sizes, so hopefully I won't forget to tell you about that. Okay, so at this point I went and looked at a real file folder and said, you know, it goes straight up, the tab is straight up, there's just a little divot out here. Okay, a little divot. And even on this other one, same thing. There's a little divot. And of course, it does a little chomp out there where this one just went straight up. Pretty much. It kind of rounded the corners a little bit, but there's no chomp out of there. So I thought, okay, I need to take that little divot out. So I did. And I just kind of freehand cut that. Is that the word I want? Freehand? I did not use a trimmer or anything like that. So that's not too bad. We're getting closer, I think. So I did that one. And then I tried what did I decide I didn't like about this one? I think I didn't like how it cut down too much there. So I tried doing it a little different. Well, this one's just terrible. Just terrible. Don't like it at all. And then I got a little smarter. I said, okay, what if when I'm folding this in half, I don't fold it all the way just like I did earlier. And instead of trying to cut something out, just glue a tab onto it. And that's not a bad option. And it's still easy to use your scraps. You just don't fold them in half. You fold it like, it's not a ½ inch, it's not a ¼ inch. I mean, is there such thing as a 1/3 of an inch down? Okay, something like that. So that's how I've evolved on that one. And I thought, what if I just had a piece of scrap, didn't use any templates or anything? How does it look on this? It's not too bad. And on this one, my tab was the same color as my background, so I just did some inking there so you can kind of see it. So not too bad. Okay, let's talk about this. I said I would forget. We can talk about it on this one. To me, the size is better if it's like you add a ½ inch. Instead of being 4 by 6, 4.5 by 6.5, or 5.5 by 7.5. So I think that gives you a more rectangular shape, and it sounds like it still should be square, but I think it's, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. Okay, so here's my other option. You know, I had these. I don't like it being lowered all the way across. So that's what these two were. I want to do the divot out like this one. Like, so the two sides are even, and then you get the little divot out there. So, okay, that's what I tried here. So I think I got pretty close on this one. I like the size of it. I folded it wrong to start with, but this is just a practice one anyway. So you fold your rectangle even, and then you glue your tab on, and then you just cut a little divot out. So I did that one. I did this one. I think I like this size better. So whatever this is, let's measure it. This is 5.5 by, it would have been, it's about 7.5, I guess, folded out. I guess I should do it this way. Yep, 7.5. I think I like the size 5.5 by 7.5 pretty well. This one, oops, I just dropped some of my stuff. Was the 6.5 by 4.5, yeah. 5.5 by 7.5 is a great one. Unless you're going by scraps, and then you'll just do whatever your scraps say. All right, so when I got this one, I thought, okay, I like that pretty good. So I'm going to make a template out of it. So if I want to, I can just lay it on a scrap and trace around it. So this is this template, and I did not include the tab because you're going to add that. So I think that's pretty decent if you want a template. So I made one off that template, and I think it looks pretty good. Except I noticed, I think I dipped down too far there. Am I being too picky? Probably. So I made another template, and on this one, I included the tab. So you could have it look just like this, except all one piece. There's your little divot out, and there's your tab sticking up. Of course, you might make a better looking tab than I did, but then I decided, you know, that works pretty good, that tab sticking up. If I take one of my tabs and just stick it over that kind of gives me a guideline of where the tab goes. So that's not too bad. Okay, is this all being crazy so far? So all of this said and done, I decided what works best for me in making file folders. So I decided, here's what works best for me. I take my scrap, which I think this one's probably 4.5 by 6.5, fold it in half, and then I take my corner rounder and I use the ½ inch on the bottom. And then I use the 1/4 inch. First of all, I can see I don't have this cut straight. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay. So then I would take my 1/4 inch side and do the top. And all right, so now I want to put the tab on, and I had some cut. Here's one that's different from the paper, so you don't have to, you can see it better. I would say that this paper is from envelopes I get in the mail. So the color is great, especially for Christmas time. So it's technically a scrap. I got this brand new bottle of Fabri-Tac. Had to order it from Amazon, and it had oozed out some around the rim here. It did not have the seal. Usually they have a seal, right? At least I thought they did. They sealed it in there. Well, the seal was gone, and now it acts like, you know, the air got to it and it dried out a little bit. So this big old bottle of Fabri-Tac is not what I would like it to be. But okay, so I'm going to put my tab on here, just anywhere I like. And now I'm going to cut out that little divot thing right there. So for me, if I can find the right one, I had it out. I had this plastic ruler, right? Let me get this out of the way. And I put it upside down because those numbers there, let me show you where the centimeters are at. It's going to help me line it up. So I'm going to put it so that those numbers are at the right here at the bottom of the paper. Now, this may sound like, oh my gosh, it's too many steps, but it's really not. You just find something that can kind of guide you to cut that straight. Now, you may not care if it's cut straight or not, but I like it being cut straight. And I also use the rounded part of the ruler to help me a little bit. So, actually the rounding's going the wrong way. All right, and then I can just cut this straight. Now, next step, go back to my quarter rounder, round that corner, and there, I have a file folder. So there's many ways you can use your scraps to make file folders, but you just have to figure out which one you like the best. And decide, you know, the best way to make it for you. So for me, it was definitely cutting out that little divot. I like that cut out better. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope it wasn't too much chaos. You can ask me questions if you want, and I'll try to answer them if something's not clear. So thanks for watching. Bye.